Okay. Hey guys, back for another episode. This is the third episode that we've done in about the last hour. So
we haven't changed. We don't wear the same clothes every day. We just happen to.
I do. I have
batch them out. Well, you do. That's true.
Everyone comments. I have about 100 black t-shirts that are exactly the same. Pro tip: if you're in e-commerce business, you don't have enough time to think about the crap you wear. Right? So you get up every morning. This is not related to this episode, but for like literally the last 20 years, I get up, I wear a black t-shirt, and I wear green shorts, I wear green pants, and I wear literally the same black shoes, and usually wear a hat, and that's it. So you don't get up and you're like, oh my God, which watch should I wear, which shoes? Because you're wasting like an hour. It's hard enough getting up, having a shower, brushing your teeth, going to the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. Now that I've got 2 children, I need to go, okay, t-shirt, pants, shoes, wash this child, give this child a kiss, say hello to the wife, have breakfast. Blah, blah. So wear the same stuff every day.
One less thing to think about. Reducing cognitive load is how we refer to it in sort of the peak performance biz. So you've only got so many things to think about and so much cognitive capacity that just wear the same thing every day. It's one less thing to think about. That's not what we're talking about today, but
obviously a clean version though. What I say, not the same clothes. It's the same thing. Yeah. So I've completely forgotten about what we're going to talk about. So
opportunities. We like choosing clothes. How's this for a
segue?
For a segue.
Yeah.
But speaking of segues, don't you love that the guy that invented the Segway died driving a Segway? You can Google that. I'm pretty sure that's the thing. He drove off a cliff or something on his Segway. Anyway, a segue from a Segway. So just like choosing which clothes to wear, choosing which opportunities to take in your e-commerce business can often be tricky. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're really essentially going to talk about, as you're saying, sort of off air before, Paul, a lot of clients get to a point in their business where like, I've got this opportunity and I can do this thing and I can grow this way and I can do this product line. And they either try to do all of them or they don't know how, they just don't know which one to pick. And picking the right thing and saying yes or no to the right thing can have a massive impact on your business. I know that you went through this with Warcom. So as you grow, you get all these opportunities, but picking the right ones can be problematic at times, right?
I was lucky. I will say though, it was a completely different time back then. There was literally like me and 3 tiny I was big, and there was 3 little tiny competitors online. So everything, and I'm just lucky, and I'm certainly not very intelligent or smart or any of that stuff, but I'm like, I'm going to sell these modems and I'm going to buy a lot of them. And I'm like, I just got lucky. There's a lot of people that wanted to buy it. And then I go, I'm going to sell CD burners. I'm going to buy a lot of them. So no one else can buy them. I don't know, my competitors can buy them. And I'll sell them in a month. Like I got lucky, and I just like opportunity after opportunity. Like I'm going to start reselling access to internet providers in Australia. I'm like, I'll just try it, But thankfully for me, I was in an industry that was just like booming. Yeah, it was the .com boom. So I'm like, I'm going to sell blank CDs. Like, you guys said, what does that do? People were like, cool. All right, I'll buy them and I'll tell all their friends. So back then, it was easy to just like chase every opportunity and sell everything possible. But these days, it's a lot different, right? Because margins are tighter. It's harder to get staff. It's freight is ridiculous. It takes you like 3 months to get stock into the country. People's expectations are stupid. Like things like this, So like as you mentioned, I was having a chat with the client yesterday, and I always talk about clients. I had like 3 chats with 3 different clients yesterday, and he mentioned to me at the time, he's like, so we're doing this here on Facebook, we're doing this here on AdWords, and we're doing this here on email and blah, blah, and we sell these, this kind of technical product. And I've just had someone come and approach me about, they want to work with me to sell this tech product, and they're a big influencer, and they've probably got a bit of an audience. And then, 10 minutes later, someone else called me and they're like, hey, I want to do wholesale for you, because I've got this chain of blah, 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 and I want to do that as well. And then, I'm thinking about expanding to America. I'm like, I might do that as well. I'm like, whoa, hang on. You're currently at like 100K. You've gone from 50 to 100K in literally like the last 4 months in Australia. You're making a shit ton of money. Like, you're working really, really hard. You've got really, really, really good growth. And I'm like, why do you really want to? So you've got all these opportunities, and you're just like, I'm going to take them all, and they're like, why do you want to take them all? And they're just kind of like, well, it's exciting, and I'm like, so going from 50K when you've been at like nothing for years to 50K to 100K, and then you're going to do 150K next month and 200K the next month. That's not as exciting. They're kind of like, I feel like I've achieved what I needed to achieve there. So now that I'm going to go do something else, and then I'm going to try and feel that. And they said this to me. They're like, I need to feel that achievement again when I do it again. And I'm like, but why don't you just go from 200K to like $1 million a month? And they're like, I can't do that. I'm like, why? You just sell more of the stuff that you're already selling to more people, charge more money, make more profit. And they're like, yeah, but that might be boring. It's not as exciting. I'm like,
That's not exciting.
making lots of cash is boring. Like, and they kind of looked at me and they're like, oh, maybe you're right. Like you see it all the time. Like you get an entrepreneur come along, they're making 100K a month. Like back in Warcom, I was pulling out like stupid amounts of money for a wage every month. You know what I mean? And we're doing 250K, 300K a month, and just doing everything. And it's just like they get bored and they're just like, I'm going to do other stuff because it's like a drug, right? People, they've had that win and they've had that conquer and they've had that kill, and now I need to go get it again. It's like when people do dating. It's like, all right, cool, I'm on the dating apps and whatever it is, and I met the girl or I met the guy and we hooked up and we did whatever. And go, cool, on to the next one. Whereas if you have that
the
mindset,
next dopamine ride, next dopamine hit.
Yeah, and if you got that in e-com, your business is just going to go like this, right? You need to be like thinking kind of like, in a dating analogy, I'm going to meet her and I'm going to like put a lot of effort into making sure she's great. Like, like I did with my wife. It took me a while to meet my wife. We met, we've been married like 5 years now, 2 kids, 5, 6 years, something like that. It's 2017, so no, wait, that's wrong. I'm going to get in trouble for this. I'm exhausted.
We'll edit this out later.
We'll edit that bit out. You know what I mean? So, but like, I'm like, she's my ride or die now, right? So for the next, like, until I die, we're going to be together. You know what I mean? And you need to think about the same thing with e-commerce. So like, I'm going to go into e-com and I'm going to find the things that work. Like you're going to find the things in the relationship and keep doing more of them. You don't need to come along and, add like millions of different products and, go on all the different marketplaces and all the different blah, blah, blah. And go, I might set up a partner network. I might set up a wholesale chain. I might start selling at retail. I might try and sell my stuff to Coles. So you're doing your 100, 200K a month and a retail like Coles knocks on your door and you go, we want to sell your stuff, mate. If you stuff that deal up, your business is dead in like 2 months. You know what I mean? Just because of the way those deals are kind of structured. So where I'm kind of going with this is once you get some really, really good momentum and you've got some really, really good flow kind of happening, you need to sort of, sit for a bit, sit with it, as I'd say, and like put together a bit of a plan and go, this is actually my plan of how I'm going to scale out this business over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, and do the boring stuff, right? Because the boring stuff will make you a lot of money if you keep doing the boring stuff very, very well. Like if you jump around and you jump outside of your systems and you jump outside of the processes that are worked and you jump outside of doing the stuff that works, you're going to be in like a world of pain, right? Makes sense so far.
Yeah, I mean, a lot from what like for me, a lot of this comes back to why did you start this business? And I think about that because I know a lot of the clients we speak to, they have these ideas, they start the business, starts going really well. They're like, well, I started the business to have more time freedom, right? To have this elusive freedom, so I didn't have to work so hard, so I could spend time with my family or spend time with my kids. But now I've got this business that's really good, but I've got to actually work more and take more time away from my family to build it. And maybe I want to control it. I'm in between, like, do I just keep doing it myself? Do I bring a team in? There's sort of that kind of pivot point. But it all comes down, like, what do you actually want from the business? Are you happy doing 100K a month and drawing 20 grand a month salary? Is that enough for you? Or do you need to be like $1 million a month business? Because again, and we have these same conversations internally for the agency, like how what size do we want to be? Because bigger size means very different things, right? More might mean more commitment, more time away from family. But if the thing that you're trying to achieve is time with your family, and growing the business means time away from the family, suddenly your values are starting to skew. And it's kind of where I was leading me. Like, we do a lot of brand strategy with clients, and where that starts is like value systems, right? What do you value? Like, what's your why? Why are you starting this business? Why do you want to do this? Why is it important to you? And that's one of the really important things of this, kind of taking the conversation somewhere else. But for us, that's a really important thing to get into a business from the start, is having that kind of guidance system, so you can make decisions like this, right? So down the track, you can go, here's path A, here's path B, here's path X, Y, Z. How do I choose? Well, what are my values? My values is time with my family, being creative, and doing what I want. If only one of those paths matches those three things, now I've got a decision matrix. I can make that decision very easily. Whereas if I don't kind of have that guidance system, that's where it's like, well, I'll try everything and sort of see what happens, and then you get overwhelmed. That kind of makes sense. I think like that's how I kind of see this. That really important work up front is why do I actually want to run this business, and what do I want from it? And then that can really help to steer these types of big decisions, because they become life decisions, right? We're business owners, but business and life end up being the same thing.
They converge. And if they don't converge, then you're not going to be successful either. Like, people are like, like, it's I've got a few bullet points in my head that I'll try and remember as I go through what I'm going to say next. But like, the way they converge and how effectively they converge together, or merge, or whatever the word I'm looking for is
like an integration.
How they integrate is how successful both of them will be. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're at work all day and your wife and your kids are miserable, it's like, what's the point? You're going to end up divorced and single, versus if you're like, you're always playing with the kids and blah, blah, and you're not working and you're just going to go broke. You need to find that happy place to do that. And the more things you're saying yes to outside of those two big things in your life, right? So again, for me, the big things in my life are my relationship with my wife and my kids, and Chris and Jay, my business partners. And then, so you note that I didn't even say, like, I didn't go, oh, my wife and my kids, and I didn't even go, you're there, over here, and there. I lumped them all together. Like, I spent half my day with Jay and Chris and our team at Insiteful, and I spend, the other half with my family, right? So all the opportunity that gets presented to me outside of that as well. So again, both personally and at business, it's like, hey, Paul, do you want to come go to the pub? Like, no, dude, don't have time to say yes to that opportunity, because I'd rather be here hanging with Chris and the guys, or with Emma and the kids, or business sense. It's like, hey, do you want to go and sell your e-com products, on Amazon? I'm like, it's yeah, maybe I'll explore it, but I've kind of got this working here already. And if I do that, then it's going to take me an extra, 20 hours a month of my time to manage that process to get me to another 100 grand. Like, do I really want to do that there, or should I just try and spend that 20 hours here to get this part that's already working to there? Because it's, if you think of it like from an agency point of view, right? So, obviously I own an agency, Chris is one of the owners here, we're like, let's work with like 20 to 40 clients, that pay us X figure per month. It makes sense for us to work with like big clients that pay us sizable figure than like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little clients, right? Because it's like hundreds of people that you got to talk to versus say 40, so like our the people that we kind of deal with at the moment is like family owned businesses, family founded business by mums and dads and couples and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, every week I'm probably talking to, 20 mums or 20 dads or 20 couples or whatever. And I'm like, that's good. I got heaps of time. I'm not talking to 200 people. And it's the same with the e-com business. You're not like, oh, cool, now I've got to speak to the people at Amazon. Oh, now I've got to speak to the guys at eBay. Oh, now I've got to speak to the media buying team at Pinterest or Snapchat or TikTok or blah, 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 blah. Like, it's so important of when you kind of go, I'm actually just going to stop and I'm not going to do that. And this aligns going back with what Chris said about what's your vision and what's your mission. So your vision is, I want to come to work and I'll start at 10 o'clock and I'll finish at 4 o'clock. And my vision is that I will have a couple of customer service people running customer service. I'll have an order person doing the orders. I'll have someone who's managing the inventory and getting the stock into the country and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm making $300K a month and I'm pulling out like $25,000 a month salary. I'm paying my staff really, really well. And I'm like, that's the vision that I want. That's what I want to see in my future. And I'm going to get to that level with this small team or whatever. It doesn't need to be. Everyone wants, I want 100 staff and I want $1 million a month. And I'm like, no, you don't. Trust me from someone who's been there. Multiple businesses. I've had 50 people working Insiteful. Now we've got like 20 and it's still 20 too many. You know what I mean? So same with ecom. You just like, you know, I think a lot of people should just go, my revenue goal is like $500,000 a month or 300, 400K a month, maybe $1 million, whatever, you know, for the mum and pop kind of business, you know, and they're pulling out 25K for the CEO and they're pulling out like, you know, 15K for the mum, you know, that like, you know, the mum of the mum, for example, we've got a few mums and mums that work together, you know, so she works 4 days a week, she gets 15K a month. And this is all we do. When we say no to always other opportunities, we focus on this, we do the boring stuff, we give our customers the killer experience, we sell really good products, lots of the same products, and blah, 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 blah. And that's what we do, you know? So we don't get that, you know, we don't finish work at the end of the day and we're kind of like, oh, we missed the opportunity by saying no to that opportunity. I'm going to regret it. I missed that opportunity. And life's about, you know, like, it's okay to miss opportunities, you know, like knowing when to say no to something, you know, as well.
Yeah, I just wanted something we keep saying the word boring, and this comes up in business all the time because the reality that there's this distinction between what's nice to hear and what the reality is. And a lot of the time, the reality of business is really boring. I mean, you do the person that can do the boring stuff consistently over time is the person that's going to win. But the way that boring becomes sexy is when you know that by doing that boring stuff, you're achieving that vision. So that's coming all the way back to like, why am I doing that? Okay, I'm doing this for my kids so my kids can go to college and have a better future. Okay, I'm going to go through and I'm going to do all my BAS and I'm going to do my line by line zero work. I'm going to do my 20 sales calls. I'm going to do my inventory management. I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do that boring stuff because I know that by doing that, it's taking me towards that thing that I really, really want. So I think that's an important thing just to put that caveat around. Yes, sometimes it can be boring, but when you tie it to that big why and that big reason why you're doing the thing, it can help you make that stuff feel kind of important or sexy. So I think it's don't want people leaving going, well, building a business is boring, so it's going to be boring, and I don't want it to be boring, so I'm not going to do it. You make boring sexy by tying it to something bigger than yourself, to tying it to a big goal. Just wanted to kind of put that caveat in there.
I agree with that by 100%. And I'll add another bit that it took me like 20 years to learn this. I learned it probably a couple of months ago. I don't even mention don't even know I've mentioned to you before, but I feel like what makes people successful over the long term of their ecom careers as well, and it ties into what you said, is you need to be excited by being obsessed, right? So like I came to work with you at Warcom for 15 years and I'm the same at Insiteful. I come to work and I'm like obsessed with constant improvements every day. And then by those constant improvements, and then I hit the goal, then for me, that's fulfilling. Like as opposed to some people go, I'll be happy when I hit the goal. And then they hit the goal and then they're like, fuck, still miserable. Hit another goal. Oh, start again. Start again. Like, it's like people that go on, you know, like I've had times in my life when I've gone through severe depression and stuff, right? You know, and I'll be like, oh, I just need to go and buy a motorbike and then I won't be depressed anymore. And it's like, oh, that didn't work. I'm going to buy a new house. Oh, that didn't work. I'll go spend lots of money. That didn't work. So if you think about that in terms of how that works in business, what I should have, now that I'll probably never go through that again, hopefully, you know, but I'm like, how can I get obsessed about like improvements every day, the process which leads me to the goal as well. So then like you said, you don't have the highs and the lows of the dopamine hits. I mean, you're going to have frustrations and you're going to have knockbacks and you're going to have that. But if you've got that obsessive desire to just keep going more, you know, and I know where I'm going and I'm moving forward and I enjoy that, you know what I mean? Like that's what makes it better. So you don't feel bad when you say, you don't feel bad when you say no to that opportunity because you're already in an opportunity, right? You already got this thing.
Maximize the one you're in.
Maximize your own circle of opportunity already, and don't put more stuff into it, right? So
that's to kind of wrap this up with an idea. I think that's the idea of to be successful. The whole idea of like more is less, right? How can I maximize this one thing and just get better at it every day? Daily continuous improvement, 1% every day, getting better at this thing that I'm already pretty good at, that I know works because we're selling 100 grand of this thing every day or every month. So I know it works. How can I make that better and get really, like Paul said, get obsessed with doing less, focusing on less, maximizing this opportunity rather than thinking to maximize and scale. I've got to add more stuff in, right? I can only grow by adding more stuff and doing more stuff rather than most of the time, more less is more, where you can really focus your attention into the one thing. You maximize the result from that thing rather than trying to be focusing on too many things at once. Your attention, your energy gets split. There's a lot of reasons why that actually really sucks for business. So I think maximizing the opportunity that you're in, that you already know works. Obviously
I've got a quote in my head that it's like, I'll claim that I made the quote up myself, but it's coming to me. I'm just like, but be obsessively better at the boring stuff, right? If you just have that, write that. Maybe it'd be nice someone to put on a t-shirt one day, but be obsessive at being better at the boring stuff in your business every day. And then on the back of the t-shirt, it's like, and know when to say no. You know what I mean? I think if you have that as your mindset, like it's super, super powerful for e-com. Like I will add one thing into that because people going, but if I just do the same boring stuff, what if it goes to shit one day and everything comes to pieces? Like it's okay to have redundancy. Like I'm not saying don't do like 3 or 4 things. I'm saying don't do 304 things. You know, run AdWords really well. Do SEO really well. Do content marketing really well. Do email marketing really well. Maybe chuck in some Facebook, you know what I mean? And do your website really well. Get it converting better and better and better every month. Get your ads converting better and better and better every month. Sell more of the same product every month. You know, you've got your dashboard sitting there. Like, cool. Come to work every day. I need to be excessively better at that thing every month. 1% in all of them, month after month after month after month. If you do that, you can't fail, basically. The only way you'll fail if you stop doing it and you do stupid shit and you say yes to the opportunity and it's destroy your business. So I'm going to wrap it up there. That's a pretty bit of a strong ending. So wish you've got anything you want to say, but I hope that hits home with a lot of people.
Can't top that.
As always, you know, like Chris has always said, don't try and sell anything at the end of the episode. I'm like, no. But if you have any questions or you want like some of my foresight about Paul, what should I do next? Send me a message. We can have a chat. I can save you like years of your life saying yes to the stupid stuff that you should be saying no to. Hit me up, have a chat. Keep an eye out for the next episode. As always, if you like this episode, please subscribe, please like it, please whatever else you do.
Share it, all that stuff.
Tweet it.
Comment.
You know, give it a heart on Twitter. Like, you know, send me a rude emoji if you thought it was a shitty episode. Up to you. So thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
All the best. Bye.
Catch you on the next one. Ciao.